What's up, DFS players? I have another incredible player prop entry on PrizePicks. So again, I already shared Kevin Gausman over 5.5 strikeouts, Perez under 4.5, but we're going to go through a few more PrizePicks entries. So again, PrizePicks is a fascinating DFS platform, and the reason for that is any two picks you select, you just get plus 200 odds. 20 to win 60, which means 20 to win 40 in profit, plus your $20 stake back. That's just plus 200 odds. So we've gone through this in other videos, and again, it doesn't even matter what two picks you select. You're always getting plus 200 odds. So we've gone through this in other videos, but what this means essentially is, right, you need to win a third of your PrizePicks entries with two picks to break even, just to break even. Right? You win 100 or you win 200 if your stake is 100, then you can lose twice. Lose 100, lose 100. You'd be breaking even if you win a third of your PrizePicks entries. So ideally, you're hitting your player props on PrizePicks at a rate above 33.333%, right? Like 36%, whatever. So essentially what that means is you need to be winning your player props on PrizePicks over 57.74% of the time to break even, right? Because 57.74% squared is 1/3. So if you're hitting your PrizePicks prop 60% of the time, you're winning two pick entries 36% of the time, and you're going to be profitable. So anyways, let's get into it. The OddsJam Positive EV tool is the best tool for finding actual value on PrizePicks, right? And again, this is only possible because PrizePicks essentially, they're giving you minus 137 implied odds on any pick, and we'll go through the strategy in this video, and we'll kind of explain the math behind it. So what you want to do first, right, is depending on where you're playing from, you may see different sports books because OddsJam will also show you sharp sports bets. Like for example, if we take a look at this Luis Arias or whatever his name is, so let's just type him in quickly, right? This looks like a clear pricing discrepancy, right? We're getting plus 110 on him over 1.5 bases on FanDuel, whereas other books are pricing this minus 105 to minus 110, maybe a little bit of value there, right? And that's what you want to look for as a sports bettor or as a DFS player, is you just want to look for value. So, essentially, you want bets with an edge, and that means you have to find value and squeak out value as a sports bettor or a DFS player. So regardless, the first player prop I'm on is Tyler Wells under 15.5 pitching outs. We can see it's on the bottom row, right? 2.32% profit margin. And you want to look for the bet in bold with a circle around it. That is the sharp player prop you want to be on from OddsJam, right? The mathematically profitable prop bet. So for example, if we look at this top one, we can see it's on the top row, 4.91% profit margin, Diaz over 1.5 bases. So you can see right here, again, pretty clear pricing discrepancy. This is a bet we'd want to be on FanDuel Sportsbook because we're getting good value, right? We're getting plus 130 odds on him over 1.5 bases when every other sportsbook is pricing this around plus 100, and the sharpest bookmaker in the world, Pinnacle, the most efficient betting market that takes the highest volume of bets, they're only pricing this at plus 105. So anyways, let's get into it. The first bet we have, or the first player prop pick we have in our PrizePicks entry is going to be Tyler Wells under 15.5 outs with a 2.32% profit margin. We can see the true odds are minus 145. And if we just take a quick peek, it's very clear that this is a pricing discrepancy, right? So again, on PrizePicks, it's not going to matter if you pick the over or the under. They're not going to change your payout, right? So you obviously don't want to be including the over, because why would you include your over? You need two player props and a two pick entry to get plus 200 odds. Why would you do that when you can just bet on a sports book one pick and get plus 128 odds, right? It makes no sense. Betting Tyler Wells over 15.5, at minus 137 odds is such a bad play. I mean, you just can't be on it. You'll never make money, right? The sports books are heavily juicing the under, which means the bookmakers, right, the sharpest bookmaker, thinks the under is much more likely to hit, right? So we'll go through the math in a second, but you can see, sportsbooks imply win probabilities, for bets through their odds. If they're heavily juicing an under, they think the under is much more likely to hit, right? It's really that simple. So when Pinnacle Sportsbook is pricing something at minus 174 on an under, and you can get that in your PrizePicks entry, that's a great pick that you want to go with, right? You're finding value as a sharp DFS player. So the next pick I'm on is just going to be Martin Perez again, under 4.5 strikeouts. We take a look at the odds, right here. It's very clear this is a true pricing discrepancy, right? Plus, sportsbooks pricing this minus 140 to minus 170. The sharpest bookmaker pricing this all the way down at minus 170. That's a pick we want to be all over. So I'm going to go ahead and lock it in. We'll lock it in for $150, and then we'll kind of go through the math very briefly. So we got Martin Perez under in strikeouts again, and then we got Tyler Wells under 15.5 pitching outs. Put as much on this DFS player prop entry as you want. Everyone has their own risk tolerances and stuff like that. It's not like the EV percentages on these are 100% or something crazy, right? It's not like these are amazing, but they're both profitable and they're both mathematically profitable. And as a DFS player, you shouldn't be trying to get rich quick overnight. It's not going to happen. You should be looking for edges on a consistent basis and placing sharp, mathematically profitable props on PrizePicks or sports bets on the sports books if you're more of a sports bettor. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Let's go through the math very briefly. So we can use this zero vig odds calculator. This calculator is very helpful. It's the most important calculator on OddsJam. So you can find, the positive EV tool under the betting tools. And then calculators, of course, no vig fair odds calculator. It's a calculator we talk a lot about at OddsJam, and that's because it's the most important calculator, right? What this calculator does for you is it takes a sportsbook's market and removes the vig, removes the juice to tell you the win probability of your bet based on that sportsbook's market. So we can see for Perez under, 4.5 strikeouts, the win probability is 58.73%, which beats the break-even win probability of 57.74% on PrizePicks, right? We're hitting this at a clip of 58.73 according to the zero vig odds calculator. So again, of course the under is going to be much more likely to hit because the sportsbooks are juicing the lines towards the under. We just need to quantify that mathematically into an actual probability, a win probability. So what you do is you just take the market from the sharpest bookmaker in the world, the most efficient betting market, taking millions of dollars of MLB bets, 100 times sharper than PrizePicks, 1,000,000 times sharper than PrizePicks, and you put it in to the zero vig odds calculator, and it takes the sportsbooks market and essentially reverse engineers it, right? It takes the sportsbooks market, it removes the spread, it finds the midpoint, removes the spread, removes the vig, and tells you, based on the sportsbooks market, what is their model or what is the sportsbook implying the true win probability and the true odds, the fair odds for your bet are before they add the vig. Right? Because that's how sportsbooks work. They have some model that spits out win probabilities for bets. That gets them to their true odds, plus 142, minus 142, and then they juice their markets because that's how sportsbooks make money, right? Same thing with how PrizePicks makes money, right? They don't charge you a fee for placing a bet. They make their money through the vig, through the prices that they are giving you, through the odds that they are giving you. So we're hitting this prop 58.73% of the time, beating our break-even win probability, so that's pick number one. Second pick, again, the under is going to be much more likely to hit. The market on Pinnacle is plus 128, minus 174. So the win probability for this pick is 59.15%. Again, we're beating the 57.74% break-even win probability. So now we have everything we need to figure out the profit margin, right? So we have two uncorrelated picks. So the win probability for our PrizePicks entry, right? You just take these two win probabilities for Tyler Wells and Martin Perez, and you multiply them together, right? That's what we do right here. 34.7% of the time we're winning, and we're winning $300 a profit because PrizePicks is always giving you plus 200 odds, right? 150 to win 450 means 150 to win 300 in profit. That's just plus 200 odds. So we're winning $300, 34.74% of the time. The other 65.3% of the time we're losing our stake of 150, so we can back out our edge. Our profit margin is 4.2% on this PrizePicks entry. Again, we're just backing out these win probabilities using real-time odds from the sharpest, most efficient betting market and finding these true pricing discrepancies on PrizePicks. We're being able to include it, and our entry is actually mathematically profitable based on how PrizePicks works and that they give you plus 200 odds on any entry. So two very good player props found on the OddsJam Positive EV tool. Any questions you have about PrizePicks, we have tons of sports betting experts at OddsJam. You can feel free to book a call with us. We're happy to talk about it, comment, anything. Let's make some frickin' money.